The Unexpected Alliance. The grand observatory of Zith Prime sparkled under the light of twin azure suns. Ambassador Ellerin stood before the massive crystalline window, his gossamer skin shimmering with bioluminescent patterns that betrayed his anxiety. Behind him, the Council of Elders murmured in hushed tones, their wispy appendages intertwining in the Zithri gesture of extreme distress. "The orbital sensors confirm it," Ellerin said, his voice melodic yet strained. "The Corax war fleet has breached the outer defensive perimeter. 3 colony worlds have gone silent." Elder Vanya, oldest of the council, drifted forward. Her translucent body, nearly 9 feet tall but impossibly delicate, seemed to catch every particle of light in the chamber. "How many of our people lost?" 2 billion, at minimum," Ellerin replied, the bioluminescent patterns on his skin darkening to deep indigo, the Zithri expression of mourning. The council chamber fell silent. The Zithri had evolved on a world of perfect harmony, mild climate, abundant resources, and no natural predators. Over 50,000 years, they had built a civilization of artists, philosophers, and scientists. Violence was a concept they understood only in abstract terms. "We cannot fight them," Elder Vanya finally said. "Our ships are exploration vessels. Our technology is designed for creation, not destruction." Ellerin turned from the window. "Then we must seek help." "From whom?" another elder asked. "We've contacted every nearby system. None possess the military strength to confront the Corax." Ellerin hesitated, then activated the holographic star map. With a gesture, he highlighted a small yellow star far beyond the borders of known Zithri space. "There is a system here," he said, "beyond the Crimson Nebula. We've never established contact because their world is classified as a Class 5 death world." Gasps echoed through the chamber. Death worlds were planets with extreme conditions, crushing gravity, violent weather patterns, aggressive fauna, and unstable geology. The few species that evolved on such hellish worlds were known to be extraordinarily resilient and often aggressive. "You cannot suggest we contact them," Elder Vanya said, her voice trembling. "Deathworlders are unpredictable, dangerous. More dangerous than the Corax." Ellerin asked softly, "We face extinction, Elder. We must try everything." After hours of debate, the council reached its decision. A distress signal would be transmitted toward the Death World system. The message was simple: peaceful civilization faces extinction. Request immediate assistance. We offer knowledge and friendship in return. The signal beamed into the darkness of space, riding faster than light channels the Zithri had discovered millennia ago. Ellerin watched it go, wondering if they had called for saviors or something far worse. Commander Maya Chen stood on the bridge of the Earth exploration vessel Odyssey, staring at the strange message displayed on the main screen. After 3 years in deep space, this was the moment the crew of 180 had been waiting for. First contact. "It's definitely not human," Dr. Elias Okafor said, eyes fixed on his datapad. The linguistics specialist had been working nonstop since the signal arrived. "But we've managed to decrypt the basic content. It's a distress call, Commander." Captain James Harrison frowned. "Or a trap. We've never encountered alien life before. This could be bait." Chen studied the signal coordinates. Just 6 months ago, humanity had achieved reliable faster-than-light travel. The Odyssey, Earth's most advanced exploration vessel, had been sent to search for habitable worlds and perhaps intelligent life. Instead, intelligence had reached out to them. "The origin is approximately 18 light-years away," Chen said. "That's within our range." "You're not seriously suggesting we respond?" Harrison asked. Chen turned to face him. "Humanity has wondered for centuries if we're alone in the universe. Now we know we're not. And the first message we receive is a cry for help. What does it say about us if we ignore it?" "It says we're cautious," Harrison replied. "First contacts rarely end well for the less advanced side." Dr. Okafor cleared his throat. "Actually, The transmission method alone indicates technology far beyond our current understanding. The way they've manipulated subspace to create a stable communication channel, it's remarkable. Chen nodded, which means we could learn from them. Captain, this is why we left Earth, to explore, to make contact, to learn. Harrison paced the bridge, hands clasped behind his back. The other crew members pretended to focus on their stations, but Chen knew everyone was listening. I'll need to consult with Earth Command, Harrison finally said. This decision goes beyond my authority. 3 days later, Earth Command transmitted their answer. The Odyssey would investigate the distress signal. They would approach with caution and weapons ready, but their mission was peaceful contact and assistance if possible. Commander Chen addressed the crew before departure. We are about to make history, the first humans to make contact with an alien civilization. We don't know what we'll find. Friends, enemies, or something we can't even imagine. But we go with open minds and ready hands to help if we can. The crew's excitement was palpable. They were Earth's finest, scientists, engineers, medical experts, and yes, soldiers. Earth wasn't a peaceful planet. Its history was filled with war, and its harsh environment had shaped humans into tough, adaptable beings who could survive in deserts, Arctic conditions, high mountains, and deep seas. What the humans didn't know was that most galactic civilizations classified Earth as a Class 5 death world, one of the most dangerous inhabited planets ever discovered. Its high gravity, extreme weather patterns, deadly microorganisms, and predatory wildlife had forged a species that could endure conditions that would kill most other sentient beings in the galaxy. FTL drive charged and ready, Commander, the ship's navigator reported. Chen settled into her command chair and looked at the star map showing their destination. Ladies and gentlemen, we are about to answer a call for help from the stars. Let's show the universe what humanity is made of. She nodded to the navigator. Execute jump. The massive engines of the Odyssey hummed to life. Space folded around the ship, and Earth's most advanced vessel disappeared in a flash of light, carrying humanity's first ambassadors toward a meeting that would change the course of galactic history forever. The Odyssey emerged from its FTL jump in a flash of light. On the bridge, warning alarms blared as sensors detected debris floating everywhere. Full stop, Commander Chen ordered. Damage report. No damage, Commander. Lieutenant Riza, the ship's engineer, replied. The alarms are detecting objects in our path. Chen stared at the main view screen. It showed a sight none of them had expected. The remains of a battle. Destroyed ships drifted through the vacuum, some still burning with strange aquamarine flames that somehow burned without oxygen. Are we too late? Chen whispered. Lieutenant Kim, the communications officer, called out. Commander, I'm picking up transmissions, multiple frequencies, battle communications. On screen. The view changed to show a planet with 5 small moons. Around it, elegant crystalline ships darted between larger, ominous black vessels. Energy beams cut through space, and explosions bloomed like deadly flowers. The battle is still ongoing, Security Chief Alvarez said, studying the tactical readings. Based on ship designs and movement patterns, we have 2 distinct groups. The larger force is attacking the smaller one. The smaller force must be the ones who sent the distress call, Chen said. Can we communicate with them, Lieutenant Kim? Kim worked at her station, sending our first contact message on all frequencies, translating into the format they used in their distress call. Minutes passed. The crew watched as the battle continued. The defending ships were losing ground, their formation breaking apart as the attackers pressed forward. Commander, Kim said suddenly, we're receiving a response. The screen changed to show a face that was clearly not human. The alien had translucent skin that seemed to glow from within, enormous almond-shaped eyes with no visible pupils, and a slender neck that seemed too fragile to support its head. When it spoke, its mouth barely moved, and the ship's computer translated. Unknown vessel. This is Ambassador Ellerin of the Zithri Confederation. Your arrival is unexpected. Are you from the Death World? Chen stepped forward. I am Commander Maya Chen of the Earth exploration vessel Odyssey. We received your distress call and came to offer assistance. And yes, we are from Earth. The alien's large eyes widened. You came. You actually came. There was wonder in its voice. We need to meet immediately. I am sending coordinates for docking with our diplomatic vessel. Please hurry. The Corax fleet grows closer to our homeworld every hour. The transmission ended. Chen turned to her crew. Prepare a first contact team. Full environmental suits until we confirm the atmosphere is safe. And I want a security detail, armed but weapons concealed. We're here to help, but we're not going in blind. The Zithri diplomatic vessel was breathtaking. Curved lines of crystal and silver, forming a ship that looked more like an elaborate sculpture than a space vessel. The Odyssey docked with it, magnetic clamps engaging with a solid thunk. Chen led the team of 12 through the airlock. Dr. Rivera, the chief medical officer, scanned the air. Atmosphere is breathable, Commander. Lower oxygen than Earth, high nitrogen content. No detectable pathogens. We can remove our helmets. As they did, a door at the end of the docking tube slid open. 3 Zithri stood waiting. In person, they were even more striking. At least 8 feet tall but impossibly thin, with 4-fingered hands and skin that seemed to shimmer with patterns of light. Ambassador Ellerin stepped forward. Welcome, humans of Earth. We err. He stopped suddenly, staring at the humans with what looked like shock. Is something wrong, Ambassador? Chen asked. Ellerin seemed to collect himself. No. Forgive me. It's just that you are not what we expected. Dr. Rivera whispered to Chen. I think we scare them. Chen realized she was right. The Zithri were staring at the humans with the caution one might show toward a large predator. She smiled, trying to look friendly, and took a slow step forward with her hand extended. We come in peace, Ambassador. We're here to help. Ellerin hesitated, then extended his slender hand. When they touched, Chen was careful to be gentle. The Zithri's bones felt as fragile as a bird's. Please follow us to the council chamber, Ellerin said. We have much to discuss. The council chamber was a large room with walls that seemed to be made of living crystal. They were transparent, showing the battle that continued to rage at a distance. Chen noticed that the Zithri moved with a grace that seemed almost like floating. A result, she guessed, of evolving on a low-gravity world. As they sat, Chen became aware of how the chairs creaked under the humans' weight. The Zithri looked uncomfortable, clearly not used to beings as dense and heavy as humans. Let me explain our situation, Ellerin said. The Corax appeared in our system 3 weeks ago. They are resource hunters who strip planets bare. We tried to negotiate, but they see us as weak. Already they have destroyed 4 of our colony worlds. How large is their force? Alvarez asked. Over 200 warships, one of the other Zithri said. Our defense fleet had only 40, and half are now destroyed. Alvarez exchanged looks with Chen. By Earth standards, this was a medium-sized conflict. The Earth Defense Force had thousands of ships. What are your weapons capabilities? Alvarez continued. Our ships carry energy projectors converted for defense. Ellerin's voice was sad. The Zithri have been at peace for 8,000 years. We have no warriors among us. Chen leaned forward. Ambassador, I need to be clear about something. We came to help, but we are just one ship. We have advanced weapons, but against 200 enemy vessels, there are limits to what we can do. One ship. Ellerin seemed confused. But your message said Earth exploration vessel. We assumed. The Odyssey is part of Earth's fleet, yes, Chen explained. But we can't bring our entire military force on a first contact mission. We would need to return to Earth and request reinforcements. The hope in Ellerin's eyes dimmed. We may not have that much time. The Corax will reach our homeworld in days. Suddenly, alarms blared. One of the Zithri rushed to a control panel. Ambassador, Corax ships are changing course. They've detected the human vessel and are moving to intercept. Chen stood up. How many ships? 6 of their destroyer class. Chen tapped her communicator. Odyssey. This is Commander Chen. Battle stations. We have hostile forces incoming. The Zithri stared at her. Commander, Ellerin said with disbelief, you cannot mean to fight. 6 Corax destroyers would overwhelm 3 of our largest warships. Chen smiled grimly. Ambassador, you called for help from a death world. Now you get to see what that means. My people evolved on a planet that tried to kill us every day. We've been fighting each other, our environment, diseases, predators for our entire history. She gestured to the view of the approaching enemy ships. Those 6 vessels are about to learn why no one should threaten a species that evolved as apex predators on a world of apex predators. But your ship is alone, Ellerin said, still not understanding. We're human, Chen replied simply. Alone is when we're at our most dangerous. As the human team hurried back to their ship, Ellerin watched them go. These strange, stocky creatures moved with purpose and confidence. Where the Zithri saw certain defeat, the humans saw a challenge. For the first time since the invasion began, Ellerin felt something new. Hope. Titans of Earth. Ambassador Ellerin and the Zithri Council watched from their diplomatic vessel as the 6 Corax destroyers approached the lone human ship. The council members had gathered in the observation room, their slender bodies tense with worry. The humans will die, Elder Vanya said sadly. We should not have called them here just to watch them be destroyed. Ellerin wasn't so sure. There was something about these humans that the Zithri didn't understand. Something dangerous. On the main screen, they could see the Odyssey. It was smaller than the Corax destroyers, but its design was unlike anything the Zithri had seen before. Where Zithri ships were elegant and Corax ships were bulky, the human vessel looked predatory, like it was built not just to travel through space, but to hunt. The Corax ships are within firing range, a Zithri technician announced. They are charging weapons. On the bridge of the Odyssey, Commander Chen stood calmly as her crew prepared for battle. All hands to battle stations, she ordered. Shields at maximum, weapons hot. Security Chief Alvarez spoke up. Commander, I've analyzed their attack patterns from the sensor data. These ships rely on overwhelming force rather than strategy. They expect enemies to run or surrender. Chen nodded. Then let's show them something new. Helm, prepare for attack pattern Echo. Engineering, I need everything you can give to the engines and forward shields. The crew worked with practiced efficiency. Unlike the Zithri, humans had never known 8,000 years of peace. Even in times without war, they trained for it. It was in their blood, their history. Enemy ships firing. Lieutenant Riza reported. The first volley from the Corax destroyers lit up space. Energy beams and plasma projectiles streaked toward the Odyssey. Evasive maneuvers, Chen ordered calmly. Return fire, targeting engines and weapons only. Let's disable rather than destroy if possible. The Odyssey moved with startling speed for its size, dodging most of the incoming fire. What hits it did take were absorbed by its shields. On the Zithri vessel, the council watched in amazement. Impossible, Elder Vanya whispered. No ship can move like that under such gravitational stress. The crew would be crushed. Ellerin remembered the solid feel of the human commander's hand. These creatures were dense, heavy. Their world had shaped them to withstand forces that would kill a Zithri instantly. They're not just surviving, he realized aloud. They're thriving in conditions we can't even tolerate. The Odyssey's return fire was precise and devastating. Human weapons, designed to function in Earth's atmospheric conditions and tested in the harshness of space, cut through the first Corax destroyer's shields like they weren't there. Direct hit, Alvarez reported. Enemy Vessel 1 has lost engines and weapons. They're adrift. Chen nodded. Target the second ship. Same strategy. The Corax, facing an enemy that didn't flee or fall easily, changed tactics. The 5 remaining destroyers spread out, trying to surround the Odyssey. They're adapting, Alvarez warned. So will we, Chen replied. Helm, bring us about. Tactical, target their lead ship's command center. The Odyssey twisted in space, pulling a maneuver that subjected the crew to forces that would have killed most other species. Inside the ship, the humans barely noticed. Their bodies, evolved on a high-gravity world filled with dangers, could handle stresses that would liquefy a Zithri's organs. The human ship fired its main cannon. A beam of concentrated energy, hotter than the surface of a star, struck the lead Corax destroyer. The enemy ship's shields failed, and the beam cut through its hull. Direct hit to their command center, Alvarez reported. Lead destroyer is going dark. 2 down, 4 to go. But the remaining Corax ships were now firing continuously, pouring everything they had at the human vessel. Shields at 65%. Riza called out. We can't take this barrage forever. Chen studied the tactical display. We need to end this quickly. Alvarez, prepare all missile tubes. Target the 4 remaining ships simultaneously. All missiles, Commander. That's our entire complement. Do it, Chief. It's time these bullies learned what happens when you push humans into a corner. From the Zithri ship, Ellerin watched as the Odyssey suddenly seemed to erupt with fire. Dozens of small objects shot out from the human vessel, streaking toward the Corax destroyers. What are those? Elder Vanya asked. Some kind of projectile weapons, Ellerin guessed. The Corax ships tried to shoot down the incoming missiles, but there were too many. Explosions bloomed across space as some missiles were destroyed, but most found their targets. The results were beyond anything the Zithri had imagined. The Corax destroyers, ships that had destroyed entire Zithri defense fleets, were torn apart by the human weapons. One exploded completely. Another broke in half, its power core going critical and creating a miniature sun that quickly died. The 3rd and 4th drifted dead in space, their systems fried. In less than 15 minutes, 1 human ship had defeated 6 Corax destroyers. When Commander Chen and her team returned to the Zithri diplomatic vessel, they were met with a very different reception. The council members still seemed afraid, but now their fear was tinged with awe. That was, Elder Vanya struggled for words. We have never seen combat like that. Chen shrugged. Standard tactics against a numerically superior force. Nothing special. Nothing special, Ellerin repeated in disbelief. Your ship moved in ways that would kill our people. Your weapons, 1 shot disabled an entire destroyer. Lieutenant Alvarez stepped forward. Their technology isn't actually more advanced than yours in many ways. They just designed it for war. We detected many weaknesses in their systems. Weaknesses? Another council member asked. Alvarez nodded. Their shields are optimized against your energy projectors, but our weapons operate on different principles. Their hulls are strong but brittle at key structural points. And their tactics, she shook her head. They rely on fear and overwhelming force. They've never faced an enemy who fought back effectively. The Zithri looked at each other. This was a perspective they had never considered. But they still have nearly 200 ships, Elder Vanya pointed out. And you are just 1 vessel. Commander Chen smiled. For now. But I've sent a message back to Earth. I've requested reinforcements. And I've explained what's happening here. Will your people come? Ellerin asked. Will they help us fight a war that isn't theirs? Chen's face grew serious. Ambassador, there's something you need to understand about humans. Throughout our history, we fought each other over resources, land, ideas. But when we see a bully attacking someone who can't fight back, she shook her head. That unites us like nothing else. What does that mean? Ellerin asked. It means, Chen said, that when I told Earth that peaceful beings were being slaughtered by aggressors, I received an immediate response. The Third Fleet is already preparing to jump to this system. How many ships is that? One of the council members asked. Chen's smile returned. 40 warships to start with. More to follow if needed. The Zithri stared in shock. 40 warships, each potentially as powerful as the Odyssey. Your people would do this for strangers? Ellerin asked in wonder. We would, Chen confirmed. Because that's what humans do. We protect those who can't protect themselves. She looked out at the stars. The Corax thinks they're the predators in this galaxy. They're about to learn they're wrong. For the first time since the invasion began, Ellerin felt not just hope but certainty. The Deathworlders had come, and they had brought with them something the Corax had never encountered before: Earth's fury. 2 weeks later, the Zithri Grand Council gathered in their largest meeting hall. The space was filled not just with council members, but with scientists, engineers, and ordinary citizens who had flocked to witness history. On the massive viewing screen, the remnants of the once mighty Corax armada fled the Zithri system, pursued by sleek human warships. The Earth Defense Force had arrived in force, 50 ships in total, each bristling with weapon systems that the Corax had no defense against. The battle had been short but decisive. The humans fought with a coordination and ferocity that had shocked both the Zithri and the Corax. Unlike the Zithri, who had evolved in peace, humans had been shaped by constant danger and conflict. They had learned to work together against common threats, to strategize, to adapt mid-battle. And perhaps most importantly, they had evolved on a planet with gravity nearly twice that of the Corax homeworld. Their ships could execute maneuvers that would kill Corax crews. Their reaction times were faster. Their bodies could withstand accelerations that would rupture Corax organs. Standing beside Commander Chen on the observation platform, Ambassador Ellerin watched the Corax retreat with a strange mixture of relief and sadness. You saved our civilization, he said softly. Without you, the Zithri would be extinct within a year. Chen nodded. It's what anyone would have done. No, Ellerin said. It is what humans would do. You evolved on a world that tried to kill you daily. You could have become like the Corax, predators who see weaker species as prey. Instead, you became protectors. Not always, Chen said honestly. We've had our dark chapters. We've fought wars against each other. We've committed atrocities, but we've learned from them. We've grown. Perhaps that is the true strength of Deathworlders, Ellerin mused. Not just your physical resilience or your combat skills, but your ability to learn, to adapt, to overcome your own worst instincts. One of the human ships executed a complex evasive maneuver, dodging a barrage of Corax fire before responding with precision strikes that disabled the enemy vessel. Admiral Jones is proposing a permanent defense pact, Chen said. Earth would provide military protection to the Zithri Confederation. In return, we would learn from your scientific and artistic achievements. Strength and wisdom, Ellerin said. A powerful combination. The final Corax ships jumped into FTL, fleeing the system. A cheer went up from the assembled Zithri, a sound like crystal bells in the wind. What happens now? Ellerin asked. Commander Chen smiled. Now we build something new together. Your people have lived in peace for 8,000 years. You've created art, science, and philosophy that humans can only dream of. My people have learned to survive against all odds, to fight when necessary, and to protect what matters. She extended her hand, a gesture the Zithri now understood. Between us, Ambassador, I think we might just change the galaxy. Ellerin took her hand carefully. I believe you are right, Commander. The universe will never be the same now that it has met the Deathworlders of Earth. Word spread quickly throughout the neighboring star systems. The peaceful Zithri, facing extinction, had done the unthinkable. They had called upon a death world for help, and the Deathworlders had come. They called themselves humans, and they were unlike anything the galaxy had seen before. They had evolved on a planet with crushing gravity, deadly predators, extreme weather, and constant warfare. By all rights, they should have become monsters. Instead, they had become heroes. On 1,000 worlds, the story was told with wonder and fear. Beware the humans of Earth. They come from a planet that should have killed them, from a society forged in conflict. Their bodies are dense with muscle and bone. Their reflexes are lightning fast. Their minds are quick and clever. But strangest of all, these apex predators from a death world will fight not just for themselves, but for others. They will risk their lives to protect the weak. They will travel across the stars to answer a call for help from strangers. The humans had a phrase for it, one that was now whispered throughout the galaxy. We protect those who cannot protect themselves. It was a promise and a warning. The Deathworlders had arrived on the galactic stage, and nothing would ever be the same again.